On Erev Shavuot, we commemorated and memorialized the life of Sinai Temple past president Abner Goldstein. Yesterday, we celebrated the remarkable achievements of 3 adult B'nai Mitzvah. And now this morning, we come together to remember, to honor the loved ones in our lives that made lasting, indelible marks upon our souls. Rabbi Ben Goldberg in Port Chester, New York, asks us to look at the Ziegler service offered during Shavuot in a different way, different than the other Ziegers throughout the year. Because he reminds us that Shavuot is an agricultural holiday, the one in which we would bring the bikurim, the first fruits, to the temple. And in doing so, the farmer would recite the following familiar passage. Familiar because we read the passage on Pesach, but this was actually an act that would take place during the holiday of Shavuot. And the farmer would declare the following: "My father was a wandering Aramean. He went down to Egypt with meager numbers and dwelt there, and there he became very great and populous. The Egyptians dealt harshly with us and oppressed us. The Lord freed us from Egypt by a mighty hand. He brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Wherefore I now bring the first fruits of the soil which you, O Lord, have given me." Rabbi Goldberg explains that the reason why this passage is significant to this moment, to Ziegler, is because as the Jewish people root themselves in history, there's a deep understanding that today, as individuals and as a Jewish family, the reason why we are who we are is due to the molding, to the kneading, to the shaping by the people that have come in and out of our lives. People that we meet through the passages of Torah, and by the people who used to greet us at the doors of the sanctuary. People with whom we had our first dates and subsequently anniversaries. Children that learned how to say mommy and daddy as their very first words. Siblings that became our permanent playmates and friends. Parents that spent years raising us and holding our hands. We become books that are shaped by their lives, by the chapters of those that came before us, by those that walked with us, the lives, the chapters we have been so fortunate to learn from and to learn with. Many of those chapters ended too abruptly. Many of those chapters still feel very vivid, and others feel further away. Rabbi Goldberg summarizes our stories like the ancient Israelite farmers. They don't begin with ourselves, but with Avi, with the stories of our ancestors, with our parents, with our spouses, our children, our siblings, our family, our friends, those who are no longer with us in this life, but whose lives impacted us in ways we do understand and in ways we yet to know. This holiday is coined Zman Matan Toratenu, the time of the receiving of the Torah. And so we take this very moment, this sacred moment, to think of the many people, to honor the many Torahs that have shaped us, and the story we each continue to live out today. Rabbi Harold Schulweis of blessed memory offers the following poem. Ziegler. Looking back, we recall our ancestry. Looking forward, we confront our destiny. Looking backward, we reflect on our origins. Looking forward, we choose our path. Remembering that we are a tree of life, not letting go, holding on. And holding to, we walk into an unknown, beckoning future with our past beside us. At Ziegler, we hold on, learning, gleaning, mourning, loving, honoring the departed, those who have become a chapter or perhaps many chapters, perhaps taking a central figure in the book itself, the book of our lives. There's a phrase that we learn early on in rabbinical school, Ein mukdam u'mauchar b'Torah, that we're not supposed to read the Torah chronologically. There's nothing considered earlier or later in the Torah, but rather we are supposed to see each story, each anecdote, each moral, each law as if they withstand the test of time. One doesn't have a stronger historical significance over another. And perhaps it's similar when we recall the people that impact our lives, that their chapters may be physically closed, but their stories are forever spiritually interwoven within our own. Ein mukdam, there's nothing earlier. Ein meuchar, there's nothing later. For their stories are part of our very being. Their stories, their teachings, their advice, their sayings, their guidance, their accents, their laughter, their tears, their legacy, that continues forward, impacting us, speaking to us, holding us in ways that we sometimes see, and in ways sometimes we can only imagine. But each one leaves a mark, kind of like the crease on the page of our favorite novel, the crease that beckons us to read that page over and over again, because they were the chapters. These were the people that continue to shape us into who we are, continue to teach us how to live, how to love, how to grieve, and how to remember. To them we hold on, and with them we walk together. And as we say Yizkor, we turn the pages of memory. We read again the lines etched in our hearts by those we have lost. And though their stories may have come to a close, their voices still echo in ours. We begin our Yizkor service together.